There it is. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome everyone to tonight's Monday Night Team Summit call. We are super lucky to have Julie Marshall sharing, and I'll talk about her talk in a minute. My name is Robin Eisenbeis, and I think I know most everyone here. I'm a National Marketing Director with Team Take Flight, and just really quickly, let's make sure everybody is muted. If you could just take a moment and just mute yourself right now, we'll have a clean copy. Perfect. The person who's on the phone, the 815, if you could also mute yourself. And Jamie, excellent. Great turnout tonight. So I'm a National Marketing Director with Team Take Flight, and we do these calls every week, every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And just wanted to remind everyone, so first of all, we have our Phoenix conference coming up, April 26th through 28th, and just a show of hands, we have a lot of people. Raise your hand if you're planning to go. Just awesome, very good. If you have any questions on that, let us know. Kim and I, this conference, are doing something totally different. We are planning a really special event that we are calling a VIP Q Club. And we've posted the flyer several places. Basically, it's helping your downline get qualified. And when that happens, then you and your downline are invited to our special event, and that's for 2 months. So it would be now February, qualify in February and March. So we hope that we have a whole group of people from Team Take Flight there and Team Summit, and yeah, the whole encompassing group. So tonight we have the pleasure of having Julie Marshall. She is a senior sales coordinator on Team Take Flight. And Julie and I met. If you could just mute yourself if you're not already muted, that would really be helpful. There's a little background noise. We're trying to give a recording for people who could not be on the call tonight. So Julie and I met actually longer than 5 years ago, but about, I don't even know how many years ago, Julie?
Like 10?
10, okay, a long time. We worked out together all the time, and I shared Juice Plus with Julie, and it just made sense to her, and she was going to tell her story. But what I really admire most about Julie is her commitment to her team, helping them become better leaders, reach their goals, and also just being an amazing student. She's always at training events, always learning, and always wanting to be better. So with that, I'd love to turn it over to Julie Marshall. Thanks for leading us tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Robin. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. I've had some issues with my internet, and so I've been like a little nervous about this. So thank you for the wonderful introduction, and I am just so grateful for my friendship with Robin and so many people in this community, but just for the introduction to Juice Plus, because it has done incredible things for my family. And so when I learned about Juice Plus, it's 5 years ago this month, I was a stressed out corporate employee. I was working 60 hours a week. I was working out 6 days a week. I was training for a half marathon, and I was exhausted. I could have literally crawled under my desk at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to take a nap, but instead I was going for a sugary snack or caffeine just to get me through the rest of the day. I had a 16-year-old and 18-year-old son, and they were both competitive athletes. My oldest, unfortunately, had suffered multiple concussions from playing ice hockey and had to stop. And residual headaches were in his future because he woke up every day with one. And my husband was on 2 different types of asthma meds and an acid reflux medicine. And so we just kind of thought like this might be life, which is normal. We were pretty healthy eaters. But what I found was when I learned more about Juice Plus and what it could do for our family, I was like intrigued because we were not eating 30 different fruits and vegetables every day, and we were not consuming, the variety. So we got started without expectation, and within a few weeks we were pleasantly surprised with what it was doing for us. And for me, primarily, it was my digestion, and I was recovering better from my training runs that I was, trying to train for a marathon. And then my husband went off of his asthma meds and his acid reflux meds, and my son is headache free now. So that is just a huge blessing for us. And I started sharing it with people because it had done so much for my family. But the bigger thing for me was the fact that I never had a plan B, and I knew I needed one. So, as we transition into just learning a little bit more about networking, I never networked outside of my community because I was in a corporate environment. I thought I had everything I needed, and I had my kids' activities, and I was like, this is what it's about. This is my life. And when I left my corporate job, I realized that I needed to step my game up, basically, and realize that I needed to find other avenues. And so a very wise mentor of mine, Kim Dalzell, said, you need to get outside your house. And I said, okay, so how am I going to do that? So what's the first thing we do? We go to Google. So I would love a raise of hands here tonight. How many people have gone to a networking event? Awesome. Okay, we have a few we can't see, but and how many of you that have gone to it, was it a scary thing to do? Yes. Yes. So I realized that I could not live inside of my little bubble, because I called my corporate job the corporate bubble. And that's what you're going to see next, is my presentation has bubbles all around it. So I lived in my corporate bubble, and I lived in my, basically my kids' bubble. And I didn't go outside of it. I didn't have any need to network. So when I left my corporate job, I was like, okay, how am I going to meet new people? So I'm going to share with you how I met new people. So I am going to share my screen, and this is always so scary when you share your screen on Zoom. It's like I try to close out all my windows. All right, here we go. Okay. So I need to, now my phone's ringing. All right. So I gotta go to the screen share. Yeah. Okay. Can you see it? Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So we've already gone past the screen, so we'll do that. All right. So why do we network? Well, because we need to meet people outside of our day-to-day. So we want to connect with people who are like-minded, entrepreneurs, small business owners, people who want to meet other people, expand our circles, help others grow their business, and you may just meet someone that could help you with your business that they may not be interested, but they could, connect you with someone who is. And so that's the huge, reason. And I never, ever really realized that that was something I should do. So here's some types of networking opportunities. So I've been through a lot of this stuff, and so weekly organized business events. So you could go to a meetup or a organized event where there are people, where there's a structured board, and you go to it, and you're in a environment where they only have one person per occupation, and there's dues and there's attendance requirements, and you have to track the business that's passed between you. That's sometimes an uncomfortable thing for people, but I have found it to be very beneficial because you can visit some of these venues. Then the meetup. So if you're not a member of meetup.com, you should totally do that. There are informal gatherings and things that you can just Google online, and there's no attendance requirements. They happen weekly, monthly, or quarterly, and they're mostly social, so meet and greet type of opportunities. And I've met so many incredible people through those types of things. So how to find them? You can go to do a Google search, networking groups in your area, basically. So, like for example, networking groups in Cary, North Carolina, and you will pull up multiple things. You'll pull up a meetup. You'll pull up um, some. There's a like in our area. There's a Raleigh Housewives meetup. And there's different things. And so if you can't find something you're looking for, create your own. So when I moved to Georgia a year ago, I couldn't find anything that I wanted to participate in terms of a networking event. And so I created my own. So I went to a meetup. I joined it, and then I created my own. And it was called it was something St. Simon's Islands food, fun, and family or something. And so we did like fun events. We would do like a bicycle ride, and then we'd do like a wine tasting. And so we did multiple different things. So it was really, really fun. And so for most of the business focused events, so if you like decide you find an organized event that you want to go to, you can visit those usually about 2 times before joining. So I recommend going to those. Some of them have kind of high initiation fees or whatever, but some of them are very minimal, but you can visit them unlimited, for your 2 times. So you can go to one here and then one here and one there. So see if it's a right fit for you. And I would recommend only committing to one paid group that meets, because you don't want to get involved in too many different things. All right. So I want to give you some encouragement of things that I have experienced through my positive networking examples. So, getting outside your comfort zone. So when I first started networking, I went to a networking meeting that didn't know anybody, and I sat around a table with people, and they passed around a card box of people's business cards. And so I just started pulling things out, and I looked at them, and I was like, okay, well, some people were there, some weren't. And there was one person that was not there actually, but that she was an acupuncturist. And I said, she looks kind of interesting. So I went on her website and I looked her up and just kind of searched her out, and I contacted her. And anyway, long story short, she's now one of my most successful team members, which is amazing. Yeah. And so I look at this as you're going outside your comfort zone, but also go to an event with confidence. So another example of someone that I have met through being confident and sharing what I value is going to a just random networking event and meeting someone who needed what we had to offer. And she totally embraced it and was excited. And she's become a great team member, and she's got a couple customers. And so, building relationships, that's the other thing, is that we have so many beautiful people in this world and community, but we don't know how many people there are that could embrace what we embrace unless we go outside, So I have built some beautiful relationships with other people. I have some examples here. I'm kind of nervous because I didn't pull them all together, but one of them is a very good friend of mine, Debbie Ash, who we met multiple years ago, and she has referred multiple people to me. She's a Juice Plus customer, and she actually got me integrated with a couple of people that are team members now. So that's the other thing. And then I just say, providing hope for people. So I met another woman through a meetup who was struggling with her energy level and her nutrition, and just, really having a hard time feeding her toddler healthy. And so she's become, a customer. So it's just been a really incredible journey for me, and I would have never, ever, ever gotten to this point if I had not, ventured outside of my comfort zone. All right, so I'm going to page down here, and I'm going to give you 12 tips for your next networking opportunity. So um, I always say, like, you need to venture out and like embrace the opportunity. And it's scary, but it's the greatest thing you'll ever do for yourself and your business. So you'll see the first one is find the bar. And anybody that knows me knows I love my wine. But the reason that that's the first tip is because when you walk into a place, you're going to be so uncomfortable. And if you're in an environment where there is like drinks, just go to the bar, whether you're drinking or not. You don't have to drink, but you go to the bar because that's where people congregate. And you can go there, you can get a club soda, you can get a water, whatever you want. But then be yourself, be authentic, because people want to connect with people who are authentic. Set an intention for going there. So you want to be intentional. You're not going to try to win over the entire crowd. You want to go and say, I'm going to make 2 new connections, or I'm going to make 4 new connections, or, you know, whatever that is for you, but just set an intention. Take notes. So when someone gives you their business card, take notes on the back of it after they walk away, obviously, not right then and there, but just when they walk away or when you leave for the night, put a couple notes on the back and be intentional about connecting with them afterwards. Introduce yourself to the organizers. That is huge, huge, because if you can connect with the organizer, most of the time they know a lot of people, and you just have to be gracious to them and say, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you doing this. And, you know, really recognize the fact that they are a connector, and that's what they are. They're a connector. So treat people like friends. So you don't want to walk up to people and go, hey, here's my business card. You know, you want to connect with people and ask them questions and let them talk about themselves. So that leads into the next one. So ask questions, be interested, not interesting. So this is one of the most valuable lessons I have learned in my life, is just to ask questions. I love this. It's like a game for me now. I'm like, how many questions can I ask this person without them asking me a question? And it really is amazing. You can learn a lot about people. So I would definitely recommend that be your biggest skill out of all of this, is just to ask questions, as we know in our business in general. So treat connecting like a puzzle. So when you go to a networking event, you're not all about you. You're all about connecting. And so, yes, you want to try to connect with people that can help you build your business. But the bigger thing is look at what you can do for other people. So try to look at the people you connect with and figure out how you can help them connect with people in your community. And so it's so much fun when you do that, because you're like, oh, I know somebody that's so-and-so, and I know somebody that's so-and-so. That's really fun. And then share selectively. So this is really more about, like, don't go in and pass out a bunch of business cards. You want to be the person that is asked for a business card. So you're not like just going to go in and like start handing them out. And that's a total turnoff when people do that. But when someone asks you for a business card, that's when you want to, you know, provide it. But I never do it until someone's given me their card. So I usually am asking first, and then they ask me after. So, and be very specific. So have your 30-second, 1-minute story down. So do not you know, be that person that kind of, you know, vomits all over people. You need to have your story down to the point where you're ready to share it and you've got it quickly. And then the next thing you're going to do is turn it back onto them and ask them a question, because you want to create curiosity and you want to get them to the next step, which is sharing outside of that environment. And then being engaged. So you want to be engaged with people, you know, obviously eye contact and all of that stuff, body language. And then I say focus on a few. You don't go in there to like try to, you know, cover everybody in the group. You are going in to learn about and meet a few amazing people. And I have so many stories about people. Tonight, I was just at a networking event tonight, and I connected with a woman who just moved here from Massachusetts, 3 months. She comes from a social services background. She left her job and everything to move down to have a better life, and she can't find a job. And so I just said, hey, would you be open to having coffee? And she said, yeah. And so as we continued to talk, I said, are you open to other options? She said, absolutely. So right then and there, I met someone in an environment that is so neutral that you know, there's no pressure for anybody. So moving on, my bonus tip, because there was 12, now there's 13, is, and this is kind of an oxymoron, but go alone or take a friend. So I love this because I had to go alone many times to things, and it actually made me a better person and made me really break out of my shell. So I would encourage you, if you are someone that tends to be a little bit more recluse or a little bit more on the shy side, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, that you go alone. If you can't do that, then you should take a friend, but separate at the event, because you will get so much more out of it if you are by yourself than you will if you're with someone. Because what I have found is that when you go with someone, is that you tend to hang around that person. And yes, you may attract some people in groups, but I think you get so much more out of it when you go by yourself, or you're at least interacting with people by yourself. So anyway, those are my tips, and that is the end of my presentation, but I'm going to do something a little interactive because we've got a few minutes. So I would love for everyone to take a moment and get on their computer and just do a little Google search. And we're going to, excuse me, we are going to type in, I want you to type this, if everybody can participate. If you can't, then we'll just kind of share with you what we find. But I'm going to type in networking. So networking, events, in.
We're still in your screen share, Julie.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Or in your slideshow.
All right. Let me get out of that. Okay. So we're all going to a browser and typing in networking events in, and then type in your city and state. So I'm going to do Cary, North Carolina. All right, who wants to share the first thing that came up for them? Penny? All right, you're muted.
Yeah.
What came up for you?
So this Eventbrite, which most of you know what Eventbrite is, it's how we get lots of tickets to events, came up and it said Chicago, Illinois networking events / Eventbrite. So I clicked on it, and literally it's like Monday, March 12th, the Chicago 2018 professional hiring event, you know, and it keeps going. Women entrepreneurs and tech startups, Warrior for Life networking lunch at Gibson's, get women a seat at the table, LinkedIn local, breaking into the business, African professionals networking mixer. I mean, like nonstop.
Exactly.
I've never done that before. Thank you.
You're welcome. See all those opportunities? That's awesome. And that's how I found a lot of the things that I attend. So awesome. So you're going to check them out, right, Penny? Anybody else?
That's what came up first for me. Oh, wait.
Go ahead, Ann.
Janet Black coming to Cary, North Carolina. That was the #1 hit.
That's the same for me too. I
That's
guess
awesome.
We live in the
I
same
love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Love it.
Does anybody else have one they want to share?
My first one was free Wake Forest Elite Networking event tomorrow,
Okay. And what time is that?
5:30.
PM, I hope.
Yes, I hope too. 5:30 to 7:30 tomorrow evening.
That's awesome. And is that something that you can attend?
No, but I'm sure I can find one that I can attend. I never thought about using like Meetup or anything for.
Awesome.
We'll see. I don't know.
Very cool. Well, anyone else that wants to share anything that they found?
Sure, Julie. I found a fun one in Cary. It says Business and Beers at Ruckus Pizza
Ooh,
tomorrow night. Thursday night, actually. That sounds fun.
yeah. Meet everybody there.
Yep. Exactly.
Isn't that fun? So it's so easy to find things. And you know what I love is that you can go to them and you can participate and not have to like join. You can just be, you know, a casual participant and meet new people. So it's been a huge blessing for me in my business. I've met so many incredible people and have just loved, you know, connecting with different people from different walks of life and, you know, just the opportunity to like share with more people. And some people are, you know, like, yeah, hey, it's cool. Yeah, I just want to be here to socialize. And then other people are really trying to connect to build business, or they're trying to just be in a nice community. So it's been really awesome for me. And so I hope that I gave you a few tips tonight that will benefit you. And then I'm going to turn it back over to Robin to close it out.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. Well, that is really fun. And I have done that before. In fact, several of us are going next week to the Raleigh Housewives, which it sounds kind of funny, but you know, you think, wow, this is like a group of people who, you know, consider themselves a housewife, which I don't even know who uses that term anymore, right? And so you just never know who you're going to meet. I happen to be one of those people that love networking, and I just always have. But for people that are new to it, Julie, that training was outstanding. I loved all the points. I loved when you said go alone or take a buddy. And it's so true. Sometimes you just had to get out there and just say, I don't know anybody, but you know what? I need to keep growing wide, and I'm not meeting new people. So why not just go out? And I had actually signed up for a macrame class. Just I found it online, just like a networking, you know, event. So you never know. I mean, do something that you love, like, you know, running or those passions, like Julie said, and that was great. So thank you, Julie, for putting together an awesome presentation. I think all of us, you know, maybe just spend a few minutes right now and find 2 or 3 events that are listed and just sign up for them. Just go and then report in next week on our team call and let us know what you found out, who you met. You know, maybe you got a new team member. I mean, Julie, you've been extremely successful with Julie Hustle-Sterling and Loan, and not Loan, but Loan met Julie.
Mm-hmm. Wendy
and Wendy, yep. Pat O'Quinn also? Was that through networking?
Well, it was through a friend of a friend. So yeah.
I mean, so you have to get out of your house. So thank you. I'm really glad that you shared tonight. You did an outstanding job. And thank you all for hopping on. We had a great turnout. So, all right. Well, we'll see you next Monday night. Kim Dalzell will be sharing. And I don't know her topic offhand, but it's always amazing. So we'll see you on her Zoom ID next Monday. And thank you, Julie. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
everyone
much.
for joining.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay.
Awesome presentation.
Thanks, Julie.